brothels of Chinatown. The words sent a rash of bumps across Dolly's arms, as if she'd stepped into an underground cellar. Of course, she knew that women of the night existed, not that she'd seen any, in her recollection. But she wasn't completely naive. Still, she tried not to look so shocked at the subject matter. "And Miss Culbertson helps these women how?" "Women and girls," Mrs. Brown corrected. "Some of the girls are as young as 8 or 9. They're brought over from China by highbinders, promised a good life and marriage in America. Yet the promises are lies. These young girls are sold as domestic slaves or forced into prostitution." Dolly held very still, her mind trying to process what Mrs. Brown was saying. The warm sun and fragrance of apple blossoms seemed incongruent with the woman's words. "When the girls are brought to the mission home, they're often sick and afraid," Mrs. Brown continued, seemingly oblivious to Dolly's mounting dismay. "They come with scars and bruises, and they know little of kindness. They cower at sudden noises or swift movements. But they are hungry to learn. Miss Culbertson teaches them English, along with how to cook, how to sew, how to pray, and how to hope." "Hope," Dolly echoed in a whisper. Mrs. Brown's nod was emphatic. "I saw the beautiful cushions you embroidered, Dolly. You're a natural seamstress, and you are outgoing, friendly, resourceful. Come to San Francisco. Teach sewing to the Chinese girls in the mission home. We desperately need help from capable women like you." Would Dolly be successful in teaching? Could she truly make a difference in the lives of motherless girls? Her gaze shifted to the soft gray outside the train window as they pulled into the station. Dolly's mother had died before she had turned 6, and her childhood memories had long since faded. Raised by her older sisters, Annie, Jessie, Catherine, and Helen, Dolly hadn't lacked love and affection in her life. Yet she missed her mother, not with tangible memories, but with something deeper, as if her mother's death had left a hollow spot in her heart. The passengers already outside the train collected their luggage and greeted family members. Dolly felt removed from the warm welcomes. Her welcome would be of a different sort. Once she stepped off this train, her life would never be the same. The voices and commotion in the train corridor faded, and Dolly released a shaky breath. She could do this. She would do this. She had committed to 1 year. It wasn't so long in the scheme of things, and besides, she would enjoy exploring San Francisco, seeing new sights and meeting new people. Dolly rose from the bench, picked up her carpet bag, and took a final look about the tidy compartment. Then she eased into the corridor and joined the last few passengers leaving the train. The porter was waiting with her trunk by the time she stepped off the train into the late morning fog. She didn't need to look at the written address in her notebook to remember the location of 920 Sacramento Street. The address had been etched in her mind for weeks. The porter, a burly man with a curling mustache, cheerfully pointed her in the direction of where she could hail a buggy. Once the buggy driver had loaded her trunk, Dolly sank onto the thin seat cushion. She peered out the side as the buggy rattled along the cobblestones behind the draft horse. The streets were laced with fog, and Dolly's heart mirrored the grayness of the day. She pushed back the homesickness that threatened, and instead gazed at the sights as they left the warehouse district and its burly dock workers with arms the size of their necks, their wagons and carts pulled by the largest draft horses she'd ever seen. As the buggy turned away from the train station, the landscape changed once again, and they drove through downtown. Dolly peered up at the tall buildings, counting multiple stories rising from the sidewalks. The Baldwin Hotel, with its 5 towering floors, was topped by domes and spires. It looked like an opulent castle, something out of a storybook. In front